It's intermission time. It's great to get out to the movies.
So I'm Megan Braun, and I host this podcast, Intermission, produced by the Synagogue.
My name is Brian McElhaney.
And my name is Nick Kocher.
And we're in a comedy duo called BriTANicK.
We got our start doing online sketch comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, very recently, we have started writing and directing movies. I guess we were doing that before, but they've only recently started getting made.
Becoming real.
Yeah.
And we've also worked as writers, actors, voiceover artists, live performers, whatever people will pay us or just not pay us to do throughout the years. Mostly
Bellboy. I was bellboy for a bit.
Crazy. Love it.
Yeah, I edited bar mitzvahs for a while for money.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I've always wanted. I'm from San Jose, and I feel like for some reason there wasn't like a big Jewish community,
Right.
So I've never been to a bar mitzvah, and I've always wanted to.
Oh, they
they're
are a wild time.
Really fun. And you're 13 when you go to them, so it's like
Yeah.
all your friends are having it, and like it
Like
feels
your
like
first kiss or
all
something.
that stuff is kind of happening.
And 40 of them are going to be themed like the movies
Right,
or
right.
something like that. And they'll have party starters at them, which are like guys that get children to dance.
Wait, wasn't it the premise of a movie?
A cha-cha real smooth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did
yes.
you feel like a kinship?
I didn't see this movie.
Oh, you did.
I didn't
Who's in
see
it?
it either. Cooper Rafe.
And I think that was like his first feature or first time being a lead. No.
He had done
He
the movie Shithouse, but he was in that too.
oh,
This was
oh.
after Shithouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was looking at your guys' background, like obviously I knew you two from YouTube, and then you kind of but move towards more like writing for TV, like you did SNL, It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny, by the way, is one of my favorite shows
Yes,
ever.
that's true.
That's good. That's a good litmus test for a person.
Yeah.
It means you're either really cool or like absolutely insane.
Insane.
Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, It's Always Sunny and like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like that to me is peak humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You had your YouTube sketches, your writing, and then now what we'll be talking about today is two movies that featured both at South by Southwest. The first you two wrote and directed, Pizza Movie.
Yep.
Correct.
And then the second you wrote, but Jorma Taccone directed.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
Those are-
called Over Your Dead Body.
And then when is it public to the general audience?
Pizza Movie comes out April 3rd on Hulu.
Okay.
And Disney Plus
Oh,
and
right.
Hulu on Disney Plus, which is what we're supposed to officially say.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
feels a little redundant towards the end of it.
And we just learned there's 7 ad breaks if you don't have the premium version of Hulu. So
7?
something like that. So
no, there might not be.
there
Hopefully,
might be up to 7.
there's
So just
an option of 7
get the
ad breaks.
premium
So
Hulu
please,
so you can watch it straight through.
Wait, kind of sick, though, to be like a Hulu Disney first feature, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
cool. And they let us
Yeah.
say some rank shit for a Disney film. So
Yeah.
I mean it's pretty cool.
yeah.
That's exciting. And it's funny just to have two movies happening like at the exact same time.
Especially considering that
Yeah.
according to the internet, we've been doing nothing for about 15 years, or since 2017, we've been doing nothing according to the internet.
Yeah, if you look at our IMDb's, you mean they kind of stops
Yeah,
around
it's
then?
like, I mean,
According
I
to
guess
my outline.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, but like we've been writing scripts and working, but just
Performing
nothing's
live.
been getting made.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
And-
question, because I don't work on things on your end. Like, when you're not making money when your things aren't getting made, right? So how are you living?
You are.
Well,
you get
you
paid
kind
to
of.
write. Sometimes, if you're lucky, which we have been, you get paid to write scripts.
I see.
Off credit card debt is how I lived most of my
Yeah.
adult life, which is just a terrible way to live. But
Yeah.
yeah, or it's like you find other small ways to. I started teaching sketch comedy classes on Zoom during the pandemic because
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
Smart.
something.
But then also, we act and stuff like. So it's like there's there'll be different jobs here and
We
there.
started a
that come.
Patreon, so that kind of gave us just a little bit of money. But
Yeah.
you just
And then we've written on shows and stuff like that. We've always had some sort of writing job
Totally.
since leaving SNL for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys miss SNL?
No.
I do. I have dreams a lot about being back, and I'm happy I'm back. They've rehired me to give us another chance.
Yeah.
I have that a lot. And like Travis Hardman is with us. It's always like some other not even writer we know is with us.
Lauren is made of jello and that.
Yeah.
And he's offering you bites.
I think, so they're happy dreams, they're not stress dreams.
I have stress dreams, and then I have happy dreams that we're back and actually they love us and they want us. They're like, we were wrong for letting you go. So
yeah. I think if they were like, do you want to come back? Probably would be like, yeah, okay. Yes, daddy, yes. No, I do. I miss the highs. I mean, it was so exciting, and it's such a, like, especially during like the slow periods of this industry when you're, you write a script, you might not hear if it's going to get made for like 3 months or whatever. It's like at SNL, you write a script Tuesday, you find out the next day if it's gonna go to dress rehearsal, and then Saturday it airs and you get the audience reaction, and then it starts all over again. And that is amazing. It's terrible and amazing.
Yeah.
To like, you live each week is like a year in the entertainment industry.
It's making me think like it's almost a mirror to now, like you make sketches, they go on social media or whatever, and you get that gratification of like coming up with the concept, writing it, putting it out there, getting the gratification, and then doing it again to post again.
Yeah.
And it's like that, but in real form.
Yeah.
And skipping over the part that is perfecting said sketch.
Yeah.
And also skipping over just the long process that anything takes to get made. SNL, it's going up Saturday. It's not like, a year to you're hearing if your pilot's going to go or something. So that speed is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're here making movies and stuff, that's where we've always tried to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we're here rather than SNL.
We like perfecting things and really working on it and getting it. And like, because there's all these, writing something really quick and getting it out there. It's like, that can be great. And there's, genius stuff that can come out of that. But like, what we love is like the not the first idea, but like the 16th idea where it's like, oh my God, that never would have come if you hadn't sat with the idea for months and months or whatever.
Yeah.
A question that we ask everyone that comes on the show, since the premise of the show is to be a bit like introspective about your film taste and love of film, is if you had to pick a film that describes where you're at in life right now, what comes to mind?
Oh my God, what a question. Let me just first figure out, where am I in life right now?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I'm at kind of an inflection point where I've been kind of waiting for this, and now I'm kind of scared that it's maybe happening.
It feels, I feel like our career right now has been, it's been a series of plateaus. Like David Foster Wallace talks about this in Infinite Jest, which I am referencing to let everyone know that I've read that book. Did you finish it? Yes, I did. And so I have to bring it up constantly. And maybe that makes me a toxic man that I liked it, but I did. I don't think it does.
No one's fighting you right now.
I know. I know they are in the comments in the future, and I'm combating them one by one. Like, it's actually a very well written book. Anyhow, but he talks about learning tennis that way, of it being a series of plateaus, where it's like it's like flat and you're working really, really hard, and it's like going up a little bit. And then all of a sudden there's like a big hike up, and then you're on that level for a bit. And then you're like, working really hard and practicing whatever and so on. And I feel like, these two movies getting produced, and then some other stuff happening behind the scenes, like, has definitely like brought us to a new level where I think up until this point, we were just like, yes, we will do whatever job will have us. And we were very lucky that like we got some cool jobs. But before we got It's Always Sunny, we were pitching hard to be hired for the Baby Boss animated series on Netflix. No shade to that show.
Well, a little bit, apparently.
I mean, a little bit of shade because they didn't hire us. And I was like, I'm going to walk into the ocean.
What movie represents this?
I don't know. It's the movie Baby Boss.
I'm thinking about movies. I'm like, that point of the movie, like at the end,
it doesn't need to be
the
entire movie and so literal, you know?
Right. Yeah. What's the vibe a little bit?
Just answer the question so we can get to the next one.
No.
I was thinking, I mean, this is a dark one, but I was like, just thinking about like, okay, here we are, like something is like, feels like we're about to crest onto something we've always wanted to happen. Wow, it's cool. Then I was thinking about Inside Llewyn Davis, how that almost happens, but then it just doesn't. And it's like, it would be, if my movie was Inside Llewyn Davis, it means we're about to get something and then we just go back to where we were.
Good one, though.
But it's like, that's like the pessimistic version of where my career is right now. I kind of want to say what the more optimistic vibe is of where we're heading.
I think mine might relate more to the fact that I recently had a child.
Yeah.
who's like a year and a half, and it's like balancing work and family life is so tricky, and there's plenty of movies that cover that. But gosh, this is
funny to
I
me.
understand there's no wrong answers to this question, but I feel
I'll tell you if you're wrong.
I have one, and it's a movie I'm in, so it's kind of weird.
Okay.
But it's like as we
Meta.
enter this like new phase in our careers, and also I moved in with my girlfriend. I've never done that with anyone before.
Ooh.
There's a growing up element to my life, and the movie Young Adult with Charlize Theron, where she's like a mid to late 30s kind of fuck up, and she's also kind of like having to take a step into like real adulthood. And also I'm in it as a bookseller, plug for Young Adult. But yeah, that one, I guess I feel.
I think my answer is going to be Toy Story 3.
Okay, why is
I think specifically like the graduation, like the kid leaving school, leaving for college and saying goodbye to his toys. I think there's like a real, it feels like in multiple ways in terms of like career and in terms of family and life, it's like a hello and a goodbye moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying goodbye to your Woody right now.
Yeah, I think to some degree. I think it's an interesting, like, I feel like we're entering more the mainstream a little bit. We've been doing secret art, essentially.
We've been niche for 20
like,
years.
Yeah.
I was really comfortable with it, too.
I think we are still, the movies
definitely
we made
are
niche, for sure, but I think that there's more of a...
It might be more mainstream niche, too.
Or just like, I think we're just being taken more seriously by the industry.
Both movies fail spectacularly, and we go back to performing Edinburgh every year.
But
that's the Inside Llewyn Davis version of this.
Yeah. Either way, it's, saying goodbye to something.
Yeah, something's gone that we can't get back.
So I have a full-time job as a graphic designer outside of the podcast.
That's cool.
And previously I was freelance graphic design, and I thought like, I'll have so much more time to put into this podcast. And during that time, it was like, I wasn't getting as much done. And now that I have a full-time job, I think I'm doing way more just because I'm like, game on, let's go.
There's a
completely agree. That's exactly how we operate.
You want something done, give it to the busiest man in the world.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, when you have so much, that little time you have, you utilize.
Yeah.
Whereas you got nothing.
There's too much downtime. It just feels like weird and hard to structure yourself.
It really is. It's have you ever used the Pomodoro technique for like writing and working? Our friend Ricky taught this to me, and it's online. Basically, the idea is, I think it's because like cooking chicken Pomodoro takes 25 minutes or something. But Pomodoro is you set a timer for 25 minutes. That's one Pomodoro, and you set a timer right here, and you turn your phone off and everything, and you work for 25 minutes. And then when it goes off, you give yourself 5 minutes of a break, and then you do another 25. Yeah. And it's so funny because like the first time I did it, it's like, okay, I'm going to work for 2 hours, which is 4 Pomodoros, I guess. But like it made me, the moment I started the thing, it was like that thing where it's like, oh no, I have this like truncated period of time and I focus so much more than if I just like have 2 lazy hours where it doesn't really matter. It almost like it psychologically makes you think that you're like, have this like little bit of time in between, something happening.
It does not work for me at all. I've tried it multiple times.
It really doesn't?
I love the idea of it.
It helps me a lot.
I just cheat constantly.
Oh, you just look at
You have to like, it's like I have to have someone enforcing it for it to work.
I mean, that's interesting because you two are writers, and I feel like to be a writer, like, you have to be so disciplined. Like, to sit down.
You have
so
to,
funny
or you just have to work all day, every day, and check your phone, and then at 4 a.m. go, oh, we got to do something right. So it's like,
be willing to like binge sprint their whole workload at the end.
Yeah,
it's funny because I feel like we got into I don't know. Part of why I got into this industry is I was like, I do not want a 9-to-5 job, and what I have now is a 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. job where it doesn't ever stop.
I know.
It's like I'm working so much harder at this than I would at a 9-to-5.
I know.
Yeah. I relate to that.
And it's also funny because like our friends now, in their 30s especially, their careers have like started and they have really settled family. I have friends that make like good money, really great hours, like they have good work-life balance. And here I am still kind of being a clown on the streets of Edinburgh, like putting way more effort into my job for peanuts, which is being an artist. You have to kind of be okay that might be your life. And if you're not okay with that, it might be a rude awakening. Many times over.
You get really upset with your 18-year-old self.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, I think that's like a sentiment a lot of people that listen to this podcast would resonate with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I myself, I always think about the notion of like the friend with the really stable job and the like good house, money, savings account, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like I just think like they must feel envy though.
When they get a few drinks in them, I do ask them.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think it's really cool what you do. And I do like, I have some lawyer friends who are like, I'm thinking about doing stand-up.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants an outlet.
Yeah. I'm like, you should do it. You're going to be bad for the first 10 years until you're 55. But yeah, everyone does. And it's like, you have to remind yourself that everyone's kind of going through the same. You can feel very alone sometimes. Like everyone else is working, I'm not, or everyone else has figured it out and I haven't. No one is.
This
anywhere.
is actually making me think of the plot of a movie that just came out, and I'm spacing on the name of it. But it's about a husband and wife, and he decides to start doing stand-up.
Is it Bradley Cooper
Is
movie?
this thing on?
Yes,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this thing on? Did you guys see that?
I haven't yet, but I wanted to.
You saw it?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen
actually-
any recent movies.
Okay,
So
fine,
all my
perfect.
references are going to be from quite a while back.
I heard it was okay, right?
I actually really liked it.
I think Bradley's a great director. I really like his stuff.
But for some reason, that movie really hit me. Like I cried. It's a very touching like relationship movie. I texted my parents right after to watch it. I think you guys should check it out.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I really
Yeah.
do want to see it.
Yeah. Okay, so you two met at summer camp and went to NYU
This
together?
is
No,
close-ish.
I'm
This
so
is-
nervous to tell you any fact I
Okay,
have.
this one's on your website.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys gotta
This-
check this out.
Yeah, okay, so the truth is
This
we
does
didn't
kind of count. I think this is
we
real.
didn't meet at summer camp. The
Okay.
fun little story is that we both grew up in Atlanta. We were on the same preschool, little league, and went to performing arts summer camp together. But we didn't actually meet until the end of high school.
Mm.
We were in different high schools. We met through a mutual friend. Immediately became friends. Started working together. Went to NYU. Brian for film, me for acting, and then we like one winter break. We were watching a video from this performing arts summer camp, and there was like a shot of the mime performance, and the camera sort of goes down all these kids doing very bad mime, and Brian and I are right next to each other at age 12 and 13.
That's so cool.
And we don't know each other and like have no idea that our professional lives will one day be quite tied to each other.
There is a world that backstage someone was like, "This is Nick. This is Brian. Hi, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
That could have happened.
I
But
Yeah,
love
yeah.
this. This is
Yeah.
such a cute origin.
I'm sure
story.
Yeah.
it did at some point.
just didn't stick.
It's wild that probably did happen. We probably did. Hi, oh Brian. Hi, nice to meet you.
My
whatever.
theory is that the universe kept trying to get us together. We
Yeah.
were just both too ADHD to notice. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Again, guys, college this time, maybe."
That's
You're
cute.
meant to be doing mime together.
That is so cute. It makes me think of those viral stories of like a couple that's in the same photo at Disneyland or shit
Yeah.
like that.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
sure.
Yeah.
That's cute. You guys were meant to be lovers. I
Yeah,
That's
guess.
sort of what it
Yeah.
is. Our
It's
our
a
girlfriends
writing
and wives
partnership is closer to a romantic relationship or a sibling relationship than anything else.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. It's real intense.
I am curious, did you guys bond over movies? Because like you were writing, you're acting. What did you guys initially
It was
bond
comedy
over?
initially.
Comedy
Yeah.
specifically?
I think it was just like, in high school, I feel like a currency is like quotes from
Quoting.
stand-up
Totally.
shows.
It's
For
literally the
guys.
first
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for guys.
for us.
For guys.
The first time I
And
really
especially at
met
that
you.
time in the world, like
Mhm.
there wasn't, social media
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that point.
No, I remember you came into Adam Stone's mom's house's basement,
Uh-huh.
quoting Brian Regan's Comedy
Yeah.
Central Presents, and I was like, "You know that?" And we were like just doing the Fig Newton bit to each
Yeah.
other, and that was kind of our first like, "Whoa, this guy knows this stuff. No one else."
Yeah.
Try to
I-
talk to anyone else; they don't know it.
That didn't even dawn on me till this moment that like, because I grew up with the sentiment still of like guys quoting movies, like they're quoting, I don't know, like Talladega Nights or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
And I bet now because you're just like sending each other reels instead of like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
funny. I didn't even think of
Yeah,
that.
You
it's
can
very
immediately
different.
show the stand-up
Yeah,
clip.
rather than
Yeah.
like having
Whereas
it memorized.
so much of how we
Yeah.
learn comedy is you are doing someone else's bit, where you're like, come into school and you're like, I saw the funniest thing last night, it's this, and then you do it, and that kind of teaches you how to
Huh.
do it.
Yeah, I wonder
a
if kids are
little bit.
acting stuff out as much now.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh, I like that. I'm curious about a comedic movie that shaped your guys' voice and style,
Mm.
maybe intentionally or maybe
Yeah.
without you realizing.
I
it.
wonder if
This
it's
is
like
an easier
one
question to
for
answer.
us together or like separately before we knew each other.
Probably
Like,
Either.
Let's do separate. I think they're probably the same,
Yeah.
similar.
Gosh, there's so many different styles of comedy that I loved. I was really, I mean, I still am. I mean, I said Inside Llewyn Davis, into the Coen brothers. Like, so like, I remember when I saw The Big Lebowski for the first time, which, you know, so many guys my age, that's like a movie that's like, whoa. But like, I was like, this is so funny, but it's also so like rich and deep and arty, which I was like, and the same thing with Fargo and a lot of their stuff where I'm like, this is so funny, but I don't even think they're making jokes. Like, how do you do this? What's funny is that's not really the style we do for BriTANicK. If I were to say what made up me, because then I also loved like Airplane, which is just so joke heavy. And then it was like the Edgar Wright style of comedy filmmaking, which is like jokes, but really in the style of the cuts and how you like actually put music and rhythm together. That makes jokes work. So it's like, there's a bunch of places I drew from, and then Jim Carrey movies also for physical comedy, which is more of like our stage stuff. I think I pull from that. So I can kind of like go all over. I mean, I think Monty Python is one that we both really in the Holy Grail.
That's definitely was very formative.
Yeah, because it's like so silly and so smart, and I think we love
that. Actually, probably is what I would choose. I was going to do a different one, but that's probably it. My mom's whole family's from Texas, and so we would go out to Texas all the time, and like, you know, Texas is kind of a different world, but like our whole extended family is obsessed with Monty Python. And like everybody votes pretty differently now. And like we will still communicate almost exclusively through like British comedy quotes. So like Monty Python, Fawlty Towers. And it's so silly and great, and it holds up so well still today. The other thing I would say is like the thing I really think I learned comedy from was like the Sunday comics, like Calvin and Hobbes and this comic Foxtrot and all these things. I feel like that 4-panel structure weirdly taught me a lot. And so like the movie I was going to say, but my choice I've locked in is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But the South Park movie was so,
that was
like, I think that's such a great mixture of stupid, immature, inappropriate comedy mixed with like excellent story structure and character development.
Yeah, the high and low together. Also that musical comedy, which I'm so into, and like seeing like a musical that like we talk about this all the time. We love like making people feel like get goosebumps watching something we do, but we're doing the dumbest thing possible. Like you're like, oh, there's a tear in my eye. Why? This is so stupid.
Yeah,
and I feel like the Trey Parker and Matt Stone, like I feel like Book of Mormon has that.
The Daniels stuff has that in a big way. Swiss Army Man made me tear up at a fart joke.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe was impeccable.
Yes, he's amazing.
And to your thought about humor and like you guys wanting to be funny and smart, I feel like to be funny, you kind of have to be smart because there's a lot of like culture that you need to be aware of and like nods to certain people in the audience. You know what I mean?
Helps to be smart. I mean, dumb jokes exist and you can do it, but to actually like write a whole feature film and to be narratively funny, it's like, it's not, I'm not saying we're smart. I'm saying like it just takes a lot of work and thought to make comedy really work.
Yeah, it's different. I'd say like being smart could be a help or a hindrance.
Yeah, like it depends. Are you the funny guy at the party, or are you a person who can write really satirical essays? Like there's like the funny guy at the party doesn't have to be that smart sometimes.
Totally.
But and there's David Sedaris, you do stand-ups that are not. I would not necessarily think they are like spectacularly smart, but I'm like they're objectively so funny.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Different types of intelligence. Yeah, I mean it's no matter how smart you are, if you want to make it a comedy, there is a place for you somewhere in the world.
I'm now thinking like out of all the mediums, because you guys have done so many different types of versions of comedy, personally, what is your favorite medium to create comedy?
Live performance is definitely my favorite. I like, because one, there's for so many reasons. One, you have full control over your own performance. Like, as opposed to if you're acting in something, the editor can make or break your performance. And like, if we're controlling everything, like if it's a sketch that we've made and we've directed and we're editing, we do get to control that, which is great. But then the payoff between I've made this joke and people laugh at this joke could be months, could be years. You don't even hear it really unless you're playing it at a live show. Otherwise, you're reading a comment that says ha 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 ha. So like at a live show, doing it, hearing the laughter, it's the most pure version of why I think we got into this and how, I feel like every person who's doing this kind of got their start like performing for their parents, or like at the dinner party, they grabbed all the kids that were there and like, let's do a little show. And that's essentially what live performance is. So that's my favorite.
I'll say, gosh, I mean, it's all great. I'll say feature just because we just did it. What I've always wanted to do. I think of comedy a little more naturally in terms of like cuts and shots and lenses and all that stuff than I do with the live stage. I love performing live comedy the best, but in terms of like creating, I think it's what we just did with because sketch is great because it's so tight and compact and everything. But movies, if you can make something work, like a joke work in the grand scheme of a narrative, it's like something about that feels really delicious. So it's my answer today.
Cool. If your your creative partnership was a classic cinematic duo, who would you guys be?
I think it's not exactly this, and this isn't a movie yet. They're making this into a movie. Okay. Maybe it was a movie, but Merrily We Roll Along, the musical.
Oh, I actually
right, Sondheim. Yeah. That's I'm getting that right? Yeah. I saw that with Daniel Radcliffe in it, and I was like, I'm not the biggest Sondheim fan. I like him. I respect him, but I'm not always like crazy about it. And I was like, I did not have high hopes for that musical. When I saw that, I was like, I am blown away. This feels like it was written for me. It's about a creative partnership. It doesn't end happily, but
who's the cokehead party boy?
Yeah. I think it depends on the day.
You know what I said? I said this to Goldberg recently. I think Bert and Ernie a little bit. Like I'm kind of just like crazy and singing songs and trying to get your attention, and you like reading books.
Yeah, I could see that. Calvin and Hobbes, I could see. An interesting thing about us is we play each other kind of a little bit in sketches. So like Brian tends to play the straight man, and I tend to play the kind of insane, weird character. We sometimes, it's not, we switch occasionally.
Live show, we switch more, I'd say.
Yeah. But whereas in real life, I tend to be more the like, what are we doing, Brian? You're being too silly. We need to focus and work.
And I'm like, doopy doo.
And Brian's like, I'm practicing my magic tricks. Like,
it's not a joke. Yeah, so I don't know, but it's like people often think that we're going to be opposite who we are when they meet us, but we try to play both. We try to make it so we're reverse, I guess.
People also think we're going to be very short.
People always go, you're so tall. I get that all the time.
That's funny.
People are very confused that we're tall.
You kind of touched on this, which was a question I had for you guys about how you've had this path of sketches to writing to now your features. You were saying the end goal kind of was to do this. Is that your end goal? Like, was feature film what you were working towards?
I think I kind of gave up having any type of goal.
That's
at a certain I think point. That's kind of the best way to go.
I was initially like, when we first got started, it was like there was a clear path to having a show on Comedy Central. That there was, when Comedy Central existed, they were giving shows to sketch comedians, and it was like that was kind of the dream for a while. We got to do a pilot with them in 2014, and then it didn't move forward, and that was pretty crushing.
That really took the wind out of our sails.
Which is, it's like it happens all the time, and it's not like now looking back on it, I'm like, why are you so worried?
We were 28 and we were like,
it's going to happen to you 5 more times.
Yeah.
But like, it was the first, we'd had like a pretty good positive run, and it was the first door that was kind of felt like it was shut in our face, and it kind of felt like that was our one shot and we blew it.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like, I think we were really kind of at sea for a moment. We had sold a movie, so we wrote a movie, but that was also just took a long time, and we didn't really know how to write a movie. We kind of learned on that. And then, but it was like, it felt like we're not going to have that TV show. And so it was like, I don't know. I kind of just was like, yeah, whatever. I don't like, I'd like to do this. There's a lot of different, and this is true, a lot of different things we could do in this industry that would make me happy. Like just writing movies would make me happy. Writing and directing obviously would be great. Just acting would be, I'd be a much healthier, happier person if I was just acting.
In this phase, you're juggling different projects, right?
Yeah, it's acting is difficult to do well.
What's your order? Writing, directing, acting for want to do the most least?
Top is writing. Second would be probably directing. Acting is like, I kind of view as a vacation because there's only one thing you need to worry about, and it's hard to do, and I don't think I'm as good at it as plenty of other people. So like, I don't want to be demeaning acting, but it is the amount of work you have to do when you're directing or writing is, for me, significantly more than acting. I think there are some actors who probably put in an amount of work that's on par, but it's still, it's much more stressful to write and direct, for me at least.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I feel like at this point of our lives, you have to kind of, you can do everything. And we did that for a while in our 20s and 30s, where it's like you try everything. But at a certain point, you just don't have enough time to really focus on everything. And it's like, I do feel like we've put in the time with writing and directing to hopefully like contend with the best. We've really, really done a lot of work to become, I think, really good. With acting, we were naturally good at it and we've done a lot, but our friends who are really good and they study all the time, they go to classes and they work as actors. At this point, you start seeing a big divergence where you're like, oh, I'm just not. Same thing with stand-up. We love doing stand-up.
It's like when I'm auditioning for an acting role, I'm sort of like, I don't know this. Whereas with writing, when we're pitching for a job, I tend to be like, yeah, it's this. This is what it is. This is what you should do. I'm much more confident in the room and much more like, this is how this story should be told, or how we would tell the story.
Yeah, we've developed that voice a lot more. And so it does feel like we're better at it, where it's like, as an actor, it's like, I love doing it, but I haven't put in the time. Like, again, I was saying with stand-up, we love doing stand-up, but at this point of our lives, we've had friends who have just toured constantly for years or decades, and they're so good at stand-up. And it's like, we're just not going to get to that level at this point because, we've sort of focused on something else. So.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Doesn't mean you can't do it all for fun, though. It's still great to do.
In your sketches, the humor often comes from how seriously a character treats a stupid situation. Which dramatic film taught you the most about playing it straight for a laugh?
Joaquin Phoenix is so good at that. And Leonardo DiCaprio, honestly. I think the best example of that, it wasn't what taught us this, but an excellent example of that is Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. The whole sequence where he is on the phone trying to like remember the password or get the people.
Funny.
It's so funny, and he's playing it with all of the like real stakes of that moment. And it's something, I think I heard him ask this in an interview, and I had the exact same thought. I was like, are you aware that it's funny?
Yeah.
Because it's so funny, and I think it's so funny because he's not trying to be funny at all.
Yeah.
And
this is a perfect example.
Yeah. I think in terms of learning that, honestly, like the way in which I think that was articulated best for me is deeply embarrassing.
I'm curious.
Because it was articulated in an episode of Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which is an Aaron Sorkin TV show from 2007 or 8 or something. And it's a show about a Saturday Night Live show being made. It's ridiculous. It's like very not real. And somebody says to him like, hey, actually I think it's Bradley Whitford. He says, they say it too. It's like, I got a laugh in the family scene during dress rehearsal. I got a laugh when I asked for the butter during the first run through, but I didn't get one in dress rehearsal. Why? And he goes, you got a laugh. You didn't get a laugh in dress rehearsal because you asked for the laugh. She goes, well, what did I do in the first run through? And he goes, you asked for the butter.
That's such a Sorkin line.
But it's like it's a little, it articulates it pretty well of like, don't play it up for laughs too much. just play the truth of the moment. I actually don't always agree with that, though. I think you do need to lean into the laugh occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier. I'm just going to say it again. Is when The Big Lebowski is again a comedy, but like you watch the dude and John Goodman argue, and they're not making any jokes. There's two guys having an argument that you've like seen people have, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
And they're just being like completely like they're angry and frustrated, and it's like you just realize, like you said, it's asking for the butter. You play the reality of the moment. We mostly try to do that with our sketches and our movies, where it's like. We have this phrase called schmacting, which is like when people do this thing, right, put a little wink onto the line and kind of like do a joke. But it's like so much funnier if you don't do that at all. But hopefully the circumstance you've written is so funny that if you just act it well, it will be funny.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else. But that's a great question. What dramatic movie? I'm sure there's more.
Yeah. No, I loved your examples. I'm really impressed how you guys are able to give specific examples, because I always think about if I were the person on the flip right now, if I were in your seat, I would just blank on everything I've ever seen. So.
Yeah, that can happen.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the first of the two movies, Pizza Movie.
So Pizza Movie is it's a story of a group of college students who are all very, very high on a fictional drug, and they've ordered a pizza to their dorm, and in order to get it, they have to go down to the lobby to sign it in. And because they're on this insane fictional drug, what should be a very simple journey down 2 flights of stairs is a feature film, a very epic, crazy adventure. And
it starts off with a duo, 2 dudes who live together as roommates. One of them is Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things, and also from Les Mis and Sweeney Todd on Broadway, and Sean Giambrone. Is that right?
Yes.
Giambrone, I always get it wrong.
From
Sean,
the Goldbergs.
Who's plays his best friend. And rounding out the cast, there's Lulu Wilson, who's mostly known for horror films.
The Becky series of movies.
Series. We have Jack Martin as the evil RA. We have Caleb.
A masterclass in playing
real,
or playing the heightened. He's not trying to do a funny performance. He's trying to do a scary performance, and it's very funny because of that.
Yes, and we also have Caleb Huron, an amazing stand-up comic that we're really good friends with, and then Peyton Lee and Marcus Scribner sort of round out the main cast, and then Sarah Sherman from SNL,
and then also Daniel Radcliffe Bobby
Moynihan. They both do voices that are very important.
It's like a really cool cast.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I'm like Gaten being in this, I think is really cool. Caleb's like very funny.
Yes, he is.
And we, aside from like the small parts that we put Bobby Moynihan and Daniel Radcliffe in, and Sarah Sherman, every other part that we auditioned the actors for.
Oh,
so
really?
They all read, which is great because like a lot of actors, once they're established, are not willing to do that.
Yeah.
And it was great. All of these, they read and they gave great auditions, and they very much won the role.
Cool. How fun.
It was great.
This movie to me kind of feels like the next generation's 21 Jump Street.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we kind of take the drug phase in 21 Jump Street that happens and make it into a feature-length film.
Yeah. Exactly, because it's just a section of that. Totally.
Yeah. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who wrote and directed that, are massive influences.
Yeah, we just steal from our favorite.
We would love
and that's what everyone does.
to work with them one day.
Where did the premise come from?
In film school, my senior year, we'd do a thesis short film, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I had 2 main ideas, and one was a movie called Eagles Are Turning People into Horses that we ended up making, and it's on YouTube, and it's like probably our most, in terms of when people come up to us as fans, I feel like Eagles is mentioned the most.
It's often the touchstone
of,
if you know that short film, you know us pretty
BriTANicK.
well. Whereas some of our other sketches you might have seen, they may have gone viral, but they didn't, maybe, you didn't retain them that much. Everybody who saw that film retained it.
It's impossible not to. And then the other one idea I had was this idea, just like a 15-minute short film about a bunch of guys who do drugs and have to get downstairs to their pizza. And the original idea was, what if it's just a Lord of the Rings parody at the point, at that time? And then it's like an epic adventure. And, what if we lift this scene from Lord of the Rings and make it in an apartment building? We just thought the concept was kind of cute, but we couldn't really crack it for a 15-minute short. So we put it away. And then it sort of kept just showing up in our lives, we were trying to direct our first feature. We tried to write it again for us to star in, placing it in an apartment building.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, but they didn't. We've learned if we have our faces in something, Hollywood says no.
Yeah.
But the moment we're like, all right, we'll just write and direct and we won't show us, all of a sudden our career takes off.
Yeah.
So, and then we were performing in Edinburgh in 2022, and the head of comedy at the time, Billy Rosenberg, saw our live show and said,
head of comedy at Hulu, to be clear, not for the world.
yeah, no, of the world. That's how I view him.
Yeah.
And he said, if you guys have a high school or college movie, pitch it to me. Hulu has a deal with this company called American High that makes high school or college movies.
Huh.
I love you guys. I want you guys to make a movie. So if you got a good enough idea, we can greenlight it.
Huh.
So we were like, let's turn this idea
Yeah.
into a college movie, and away we went.
And setting it in a college dorm was really like the missing ingredient, because
Yeah.
we were like, oh, that makes all of this make more sense. There's
Yeah.
a built-in world, as opposed to like in an apartment building. It was a little like, if you live in an apartment building, you're not talking to the neighbors
Yeah.
really.
yeah,
Like,
it's like felt like empty hallways.
Yeah,
and
what's
then-
the point A to point B?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then what are the antagonists? But then in college,
The
it was
RA,
like,
that's funny.
we got
Yeah.
RAs, we got parties, we got crush it. It's just like it all of a sudden just like made sense in college. So
That's so fun.
Yeah.
What did you have to unlearn from sketch writing to make this work as a longer piece?
great question.
great question. It's, I mean, here's one thing. This is a slightly different answer, I think, than Brian is going to give,
Okay.
but it applies, which is when you're making a sketch, you can really, like, we would, work intensely for 2 weeks
Mhm.
to like get the script right. I mean, sometimes way longer than 2 weeks, but like when we were like gearing up to shoot or whatever, it would be like a sprint. It would be like we're pulling all-nighters writing the script. We're like running around doing, it's like we're going at like, 500 miles an hour, and that's okay because you're shooting a 3-minute video.
Mhm.
So like the longest time it's taken us to film a video is like 2 weeks. We did like, and that was like the most intense shoot we'd ever done. And with a movie, it's, it's over such a longer period of time that like you have to pace yourself more. It's a marathon. You can't go that speed the whole time or you will burn out. And we like burned out multiple times on this movie because of that. And it's something with moving forward in the next project, it's something I'm keeping very well in mind.
Yeah.
Like you need to sleep. You need to like,
Eat well.
yes.
Our sketches move so quickly. They're 2.5 to 4 minutes normally. Even Eagles or short film moves hyper speed, like a bullet train. And then a movie, we wanted it to contain the style of BriTANicK that we're known for, but you got to slow it down. It's a movie. You have to like chill out, and also you're playing with a sketch. You're often playing with like one comedic idea, and you can just like rocket through it. With the movie, every scene has comedy, but also you have to move the characters along. Also, you have to have scenes where they calm down and they figure out what's happening, or they emotionally get somewhere. So it's like, and you also have to write scenes that are like, don't feel necessarily that funny sometimes, that are creating exposition, or people sort of like working with their emotions. And, there's part of me that was like, we have to be funny all the time. We can't slow down. And our editor, Matt, was great. And he was always pumping the brakes a little bit, because I was always like, make it faster. And we would, but he would know the breaking point. And he was right, because now I'm like, I watch it, I'm like, this moves really fucking fast. And I think if it moved faster, it would be too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the speed and the substance of the scenes you write, you have to change.
You really have to trust your editor, huh?
Yeah. Luckily, my editor was my roommate before I moved in with my girlfriend.
Oh, no way.
And so it's so lucky for so many reasons. First of all, we've worked with him since college. He's shot some original BriTANicK sketches.
Yeah, he was our DP for a couple of our very popular sketches.
So he knows our style, so there was no learning curve there. And the second thing is, if we hired like a professional editor and had to go to an editing bay 9 to 5, I don't know if the movie would have gotten done, because Matt is like such a perfectionist, and I lived with him. So he would just work all night through the night with me, and we would go to bed, wake up, and just like start editing again. So it's like we had access to so much more time than we should have had with the edit bay.
Oh, that's nice.
And we were always there with him. So that was really great.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
This isn't really like related to this, but just I'm genuinely curious. When you got brought on with Hulu, did you guys get to be like, hire my friend here to edit this?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a working editor,
And
so
he's
it's
edited
not
for
like
Hulu shows like Pink 15 and
But you
stuff.
get to kind of like bring in your team?
They were told that it will probably be okay, and so I remember Matt spent like weeks creating a great reel and making sure it was okay.
Yeah.
Then they hired him before they even showed the reel.
I was going to say, I didn't even know he sent it.
Yeah, they were just sort of signed off.
No,
immediately.
I think we got to hire almost, I would say 99% of the people we wanted to hire, we were able to hire. I think there was like one person that they kind of were like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
All the creative heads that like really like DP, editor, production designer, we got to have full control over that. So that was like very important for us to have people we work closest with.
Yeah. This movie is essentially, like you said, about navigating 2 flights of stairs. What is the hardest action sequence that you guys had to film?
It's interesting because there's a whole fight sequence in this movie that was very complicated. And that was like, that's definitely objectively is the hardest thing we shot. We had such a great fight choreographer, and she was so good at, like, she understands how to direct.
She kind of took over that section.
That she kind of was able to take over that, and like, you know, we were kind of signing off on it, but like she was like, you got it, it's good, let's move on.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Oh yeah.
And so,
she moved so much quicker than us.
And we were like, did we? Like, and she was like, trust me, you got it.
Yeah.
And so it was weirdly, I mean, honestly, we got to kind of take a little bit of a break and just be like, yeah, we had like,
but we're still overnight
it,
for a week there in that warehouse.
Yeah, but it was still, that was definitely we were directing every other element of that. And so that was deeply exhausting. I mean, that's gotta be it.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's definitely the hardest physical thing.
That whole sequence in the like warehouse, it was pretty intense.
There's a stressful moment where there's a band playing outside and they kind of hit this final pose, and then behind them 3 bodies fall into a dumpster. Kind of a spoiler, but not really. And it was like 3:30 a.m. and it was this shot where tracks are on the band. They have to kind of hit this point, and then right in the background from like top of a building, these dummies have to fall in a dumpster, and that has to be a plume of smoke. And I remember being like, and we're all so tired that everyone's getting a little loopy. And we did 2 takes, and the first take it was like good, but there's no like poof of smoke. And the second take, it was like, we got it hard. And it was like, that was a very cool moment, but it required a lot of communication.
That was also very difficult to film at that location. It was outside. We were running out of time. It started raining at one point.
Yeah, that was really tough.
I mean, honestly, nothing was easy to film. It was all, we were up against the wire every single day. And it was intense.
That's wild. That's like consistently what I hear is just how hard it is to make a movie, and it makes me so less and less critical of movies. Because
me too.
It truly should.
And also, like when I see critics review movies, I'm always like, how dare you?
How dare you? And not to say what they do is easy, but compared to making a movie, it's wildly
just them
easy.
giving like a meh review to a movie. I'm like, you have no idea.
And also,
of time.
It definitely has made me go, because like, you know, we're harsh critics of movies, but like there's certain things where I'm like, I like this movie, but why did they do this thing like this? This one weird choice. What a strange choice. And after making our movie, I'm like, oh, I know, because they ran out of time,
they had to.
Or they didn't have money, or they didn't get the shot and the edit, and they had to like edit it this way. It's like, you know, I'm obsessed now watching movies knowing like how many days they had to shoot. Now knowing what that means in terms of how many days we had. Like, how did you do that? Wait, it looks like it's so much better than, okay, good, that 50 days. I see why. Or if they have the same amount of days and it looks better than us, I'm like, how'd they do that?
Yeah.
It's like we tried to cram everything into 26 days.
Yeah.
It was too much. But we did it.
Lesson learned too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a good film, you know, like you guys made a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to get into Over Your Dead Body now.
Great.
Jorma Taccone. He has a specific style. You guys already knew him, right?
We knew of Jorma.
We met him once 16 years ago, but
sketch group The Lonely Island, who were on SNL, obviously were
Dick in a Box.
Massively
huge.
influential.
I mean, they were the kings of short form comedy. Like unbelievable.
And their editing style and so much, massive influences on us. So like when we had written the script and then he was attached to direct, and he had notes, we implemented his notes, and it was like such a wonderful process because we all had the same shorthand. And also when you're writing something for somebody else to direct, you have no idea how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And like, especially like the type of comedy we write is really specific, and if it was someone who we haven't worked with, who we aren't familiar with their work, we would write slightly different jokes, probably more like bulletproof paint by numbers jokes.
Yeah.
Whereas with Jorma, it's like, okay, he's going to nail this because we got it from him.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wait, how did you guys get connected? Like, how did this work out?
We were essentially hired to do a punch-up pass on the movie, like a polish. So it's like you don't get paid very much and you're just doing dialogue. We ended up changing, a fair amount, enough that we've gotten a credit on the movie. And so we did our draft of it, and then they brought in Jorma to direct.
Yeah, they were just looking for a director. And they were like, we found Jorma. And we were like, oh,
yeah,
great.
Like, dream come
Perfect.
true. And then he then set about casting it and attached Jason Segel. And and that was essentially how it happened.
How did you write characters who are truly terrible to each other while keeping the audience on their side?
It's a tricky thing that you don't totally know, because they're doing, both. So the Over Your Dead Body is a movie about.
Oh, I forgot to have you guys say the premise.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you say the premise?
I'll say it right now. Yeah. Over Your Dead Body is about a married couple who take a trip to a cabin in the woods for the weekend, and they've both separately planned to kill the other person at said cabin. And so obviously, like, you're starting out the movie with a man wanting to kill his wife, which is rocky territory. It helps to have Jason Segel play that part, because he's such a big teddy bear that you're kind of like.
Also, he's setting up the tone, like, hey guys, we're having fun here. Like, I think just like knowing it's a comedy, knowing this is going to be a little ridiculous, like, that helps people go like, hey, there's not like a drama where we're like actually getting behind this guy. It's like
you're playing it largely for laughs. So it's like that. I think there's something John Cleese said about like likability in characters, which I strongly agree with, which he was like, I've never been that concerned with likability, because if a character is making you laugh, even if he's a despicable person, you tend to like him because you're laughing and you're like, and I'm sure there's exceptions to that rule, but that was kind of the principle we operated on, is let's just make this funny and you'll kind of go along with it. And then
also, I was going to say, like, one of our tenets of running comedy is like ground it in the truth first, and then you can get as crazy as possible. If it's just something that's like grounded at the base. And I think with the couple, it's like, let's just, this is a couple that's having some issues and has been together for a little bit, and everyone knows what it's like to like kind of feel like your partner is like, get it together. So it's like, let's find some like actual reasons why they would be annoyed by each other, and like neither of them is perfect. Both of them also like have some issues that they need to be getting out. So it's like, as long as you kind of can understand the reality of like, oh yeah, I can see how her being like this would like make him like really filled with ire, and vice versa. Yeah, you're able to at least kind of now get in with like, I know it's like the heightened version of this, like killing someone. Obviously, that's not what you would do, but you understand that feeling a little bit. So it's whether if it was just like one of them was just kind of annoying and he wanted to kill his annoying wife, then it would be like, all right, you need a little more there. So I just wanted to like make both characters feel like there's some grounded reason to kind of hate them, but also hopefully like them at the same time.
I'm also, as you were speaking, I was thinking, I don't really understand how two people are co-writing something. Like, how does that logistically work?
It's screaming at each other.
It's different every time. I mean, so, it's always different. It kind of depends on the idea. Sometimes, typically what it is it's like one of us will have an idea, pitch it to the other one. If the other one likes it, we sort of start brainstorming about it and coming up with stuff. I mean, it's just kind of like throwing out a bunch of ideas. Then one of us, whoever seems to have like a better handle on the idea or care more or like it more, will sort of do the first draft of it.
Yeah.
And if it's a movie, what we do is we outline. So we do really detailed outlines, and where it's like the dialogue is kind of there. And so like for Pizza Movie, I think the first outline was probably like 80 pages or something like that, of what later became a 105-page script. So like it was, a lot of it's there. And then once that's there, then we go through, and I think with Pizza Movie, the way it worked is like, we wrote the first act a bunch, I think. But then when we were like really starting to move, it's like I did the first pass. I would send to Brian. He would completely rewrite it, send it back to me. I'd be like, why'd you change this and this and this? We argue, then go like, okay, I think let's do this. We'll do this. We'll move this really here. Great.
To us, like on a screen, we're both going line by line together by the end.
By the end, we're both, put the comma there, like,
What we found is at the beginning, like, so we kind of start talking and brainstorming and outlining is the thing that doesn't work is if someone's like, I have an idea for something. I'm just going to write a draft and show it to you. Yeah. That's often like crazy because the person is like, what am I looking at? Yeah. I think what we often do is we're like, okay, we have this idea, we talk about it a lot, and it's like, okay, I'm going to write this first scene. We've agreed on what the scene is. We kind of know where it starts and ends. We have some lines that we both talked about. So whatever the person writes, it's not going to shock you. It's going to be a good approximation of the scene, at least. And then you can like start going over details.
But there'll be stuff as we're writing, like one of us will be like, okay, as I'm writing this, I'm realizing this isn't going to work, and like this is a really cool idea that could come back later. Yeah. So there'll be a few of those surprises probably in it. And then like, it's just such a house of cards where if you move one thing, and the way we write is we love to like set up a bunch of stuff in act 1 that's going to come back in satisfying ways in act 3.
Right.
And
I like that.
Interweave all this stuff. And it's like really hard to do that.
Yeah, it is. And there's something like, I think like the head exploding scene in our movie where the character says a curse word and their head explodes and they reset. We had that idea, we loved it, and we had all these different versions of like different curse words that can be said, why they go back in time. And we're like, okay, this is just a mess. One of us just like write that scene, like, and it's going to be bad. Like, we often were like, okay, I'm going to write you just the shitty first draft of this. Yeah. And we're like, this is going to suck, but let's just sort of get all of our ideas on a piece of paper and then we can kind of start like shaping it. But but it helps really to talk a lot about the scene first before we write it, because again, it's like, if one person puts too much of their own stuff in there and invents characters and plot threads the other person hasn't agreed to, it's going to be just like a whole nightmare to like take that out and just start over again.
There's so many logistics involved.
There is. Yeah, there's no real way to do it. It comes in, writing doesn't just happen on a forward line. It happens here, then you figure out something about the end, then you realize this, and then you write the whole movie and you realize this character shouldn't even be there, so that changes everything and that does that. So it's like, it's a shifting puzzle constantly. Yeah.
I typically like to do a movie recommendation. Like if you like this movie, you'll probably like Pizza Movie. So if you guys could have one for each.
I'm going to say if you like Scott Pilgrim versus the World mixed with
I'm going to say South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I think that's a little, it's maybe not exactly 1-to-1, but I think so.
Then you may like Pizza Movie.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wouldn't it be funny if he said that and then you thought he was talking about Over Your Dead Body?
Yeah.
Okay, now for Over Your Dead Body.
Okay, Over Your Dead Body.
Gosh, what are they?
If you like, I mean, this is maybe, I don't know that we've earned this comparison, but if you like Force Majeure.
Love.
Yeah. But you wanted a much dumber, funnier version of that movie.
Yeah, I don't even know. What is that? So that's like the kind of the grounded relationship.
Yeah, the like.
What's a good Rock'em Sock'em?
Yeah, it would be mixed with something.
I don't know.
Cabin in the Woods, maybe?
I was going to say that, Cabin in the Woods.
Not but that's sci-fi, but.
It's not quite the same style, but it's Murder in the Woods.
Yeah.
If you like Murder in the Woods movies,
Companion is Murder in the Woods.
There you go.
Yeah. Companion.
It's not bad.
There's no sci-fi in Over Your Dead Body, but there is a lot of blood.
Yeah.
I think Hateful Eight could kind of be in there.
Sure.
Then you'll like Over Your Dead Body.
Yes, you will.
I'm going to just say different genres and just kind of rapid fire. Say a filmmaker you'd like to see make this genre.
Okay.
First we have horror.
The Daniels.
Yeah, great.
Sci-fi.
Greta Gerwig.
Comedy.
Scorsese.
Yeah, a strong, straight comedy from Scorsese. That'd be fun.
Romance.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool.
And last, fantasy.
Tom Hanks.
That's fun.
Fantasy.
Just because that thing you do is so good, and I want to see if I want that Tom Hanks to make the perfect fantasy feel-good movie. But only that, not the Larry Crown Tom Hanks. You have a better answer than me.
I don't know. This is a weird one, but Karen Kasama?
Yeah.
Or what's her name? Chloe Akuno.
What was she known
She
for?
did Watcher.
Oh.
Here's one.
Watcher
fantasy.
I thought was great. I thought it was really good.
I'll say the Safdies.
Yeah, that'd be
What is
fun.
their fantasy movie?
Yeah.
That's funny. One last time, can you tell the listener where and how they can see your films or upcoming projects? And
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can see Pizza Movie on Hulu or Disney Plus on April 3rd. And you can see Over Your Dead Body in theaters
2,200 of them.
on April 24th. And then you can catch Brian and I performing live.
When?
I don't know. Nothing's scheduled, but
In the future.
at the UCB Theater, the Dynasty Typewriter Theater, or Soho Theater in London.
And maybe we'll do a week in Edinburgh or something.
Yeah.
how fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I had a really great time talking to you two.
This is great.
Yes,
And I
thank
hope-
you. So
I hope
fun.
you guys had fun.
This is
it was
awesome. Your
great.
questions were so good.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Good evening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. To stay in touch, follow our Instagram page at It's Intermission Time and share with your friends. As always, Intermission is produced by Giselle Chu and Olivia Dean, and of course, hosted by yours truly, Megan Braun. This episode is brought to you by The Synagogue.